for smallholder farmers. So we have seen it working very well so far, and we are actually looking to expand across the whole country as we speak. So I don't want to go into too much detail of this, but as you know, having low productivity really affects the smallholder farmer in Uganda, and that sort of has got cascading effects, as everyone has highlighted in today's meeting. And we thought that the lack of technology really is big. So lack of technology when you're talking about seeds, lack of technology when you're talking about connectivity, lack of technology in general. They don't have anything. And I think once we fill in that gap, we can start to get the smaller farmers back onto producing higher productivity, and so that we can sort of kill the whole vicious cycle of poverty, like what you see here. So we really believe that once technology is embedded within the smallholder sector, it starts to slowly eradicate poverty in those areas. So we're all about that. We're all about helping the smallholder farmer and ensuring that he has got the right tools for him to actually have a better life and more sustainable life. So I think I can skip this one to save time. So our target partnerships are basically everyone. We want to work with government agencies that support farmers, NGOs that support farmers, warehouse receipt systems. I think the warehouse receipt lady was talking about making an index, and one of the things she needed was crop management data and soil management data. We collect that data and we can help them. We also want to partner up with banks, microfinance companies, insurance companies, agro-processors, local and foreign buyers, commodities exchange, input suppliers. So Grow, I think your solution is awesome. We should definitely partner. Soil testing labs, logistics, environmental agencies, and research centers. We are fixing the main issue of not having data in the economy, and we believe that when we have this data, we can help improve the whole smallholder farmer sector. So thank you very much. We are here for the next week, so please do approach and test out the platform as well. We're keen to partner with everyone. Thank you very much.
So you must have an Airtel line, condition number one. Okay, we have heard about ESUS, and that is it. You wanted clarification from the jail? Are you able to answer that? Is it real or you are just imagining? All right, we are going to make a presentation about a 1 acre output project now.
Thank you for that question. Oh, I'm actually here with my teammate. Get up on this. Yeah, my teammate is called Grace Ogeni. Yeah, and for your question, okay, on the market currently there are the synthetic hydrogels, which they are actually using in agriculture. And for 1 acre, 10 kilograms of hydrogel will be effective. And they can go for like 2 to 3 planting seasons for while using the hydrogel. Yeah, and for our case, we are still in a prototyping phase. We kind of connected with that doctor who did the research on rice husks and hydrogel. So he's in touch with us and we want to partner with him to see how we can put this eco-friendly idea of a hydrogel on the market that will actually be very helpful to the farmers. So we're still in that stage of trials, and hopefully we'll be successful, though we'll need more funds to actually make this a reality. Yeah, it's not really a dream, but there's a reality part of it already, but it's still under research, so that's what's up.
Just like the I think the catchword is that they want to use rice husks. Rice husks are Garcia. Before, they were Garcia before, now they are not, because the people in the industry are now taking it as a fuel. So you're also going to compete for it now. Yeah, because now the industry is using it for fueling their processes. We have a presentation here. The launch is tomorrow, so let me give my colleague to do that in 2 minutes, then we close. The 1 acre outcome project is the take-home a message or active by everyone when you go home from us. But you have had the architect becoming an agriculturalist. That's very interesting. You have had the grow gel, so many new things here. But now let's listen to this one as we close.
Thank you, Doctor. My name is George Lubega Matovu. I'll make the presentation, then Dr. Kurut will add on a few things. This presentation is in addition to what we have been discussing since yesterday. We had very good information from Major General Kavuma. Remember what he told us? That if we are to succeed, the three groups have to work together. I think you remember that. And then also you remember Dr. Emma Nalima. She's already working on the 1 acre to produce food. And then we had a lady from the Ministry of Water and Environment who told us about the policies and laws in place. As I've told you, I'm George Luvega. I have been talking about climate change for over 25 years. I participated in the production of the first State of Environment report. That was in 1994. And some of the things we are talking about, actually, we guessed it right that it will happen. I've been working in NEMA for over 25 years, but I'm now out, and I'm working with Climate Change Action East Africa. We're looking for solutions, practical solutions. The problem we have in Uganda is that we have very good laws and policies, but implementation is lacking. Actually, I used to work with colleagues from Rwanda who went back to their home and they did wonders in Rwanda. I think you have been seeing it on the media. So, the 1 acre model, the policies are there, they're not being implemented, okay? As Major Kavuma told us, let's start on individual basis. I think we shall reach somewhere. So the 1 acre model, we are aiming at looking at the issue of biomass. And once we look at the biomass, there is something we're doing about climate change. And then if we look at the income of the people, the livelihood, okay, some benefit from the environment, that's when our people will listen. That's why we are combining biomass, livestock, and livelihoods. The issue of waiting for a season to get some money in people's pocket is not sustainable. So we think that if we can have a project which combines issues of climate change and issues of income, and then livelihood on 1 acre, I think we shall be moving somewhere. There have been a lot of talks that climate change doesn't exist. It's not practical, it's not there. I remember even in the Americans were saying, no, those are scientists talking nonsense. But me, as an individual, I've been observing the changes, for example, in the Semiliki Flats in southwestern Uganda. It was brought to our attention that was in 2005 by UPDF, that there was a problem on River Semiliki. I took an initiative, I walked the entire length of the river. This is River Semiliki, and if you go in the constitutions of Uganda and Congo and DRC, you'll find that River Semiliki marks the boundary between Uganda and Congo. So if it is degraded, then you have a problem. So what we found out is that the oxbows being created were breaking off and were giving our land to Congo. And that was going to result in very serious conflicts. We analyzed the causes and all came back to climate change. And of course, unsustainable land use activities on the what? On the river banks. We had discussion with Congo, but everything was coming back to climate change. And when we went down to the deltas of Semliki, still we found the deposition of sediment had increased between 1987 and 2007. Now, recently in May, I went and flew a drone over this area. The entire area had been flooded, still because of climate change. The rains had increased, so the water from the River Nile in Ulisa could not allow River Semliki water through Lake Albert to join the what? To join the Nile. Then there was backflow. So the indicators are very clear that we have a problem. Even our dress code, I think, has changed. If you look at the 18th century, the size of clothes they are putting on have been shrinking with time. I don't know what is happening in 2022, but we really have a problem. Now, Mr. Chair, the 1 acre model, as I told you, we're looking at just getting us 1 acre piece of land from the vast area of land you have. And then we want to use half of it to plant fuel wood. And we wanted to emphasize the natural trees we have, okay? Like the acacia, the combretum. There is a reason for that. And then the remaining 25 decimals, this one here, we use it to plant fruit trees. All these are targeted to put money in the farmer's pocket, because without the money, they're not going to listen to us. And then we use the other 20 decimals for commercial tree blocks, trees like eucalyptus. And then we're also looking at having chicken and goats. Are we together? The commercial fuel wood block, the fruit trees, the chicken and the goats and the commercial trees, all these were aiming at putting money in our farmers' pocket, at the same time addressing our issue of climate change. Now, if you look at, there is a homestead here. It's not by mistake that it's there. We're putting it there because we know that Ugandans are thieves. They're going to steal the chicken at night. That's why we want someone to adopt this project to make sure that the acre allocated is near the homestead, such that at night he has some little bit of work to ensure that he provides security to his what? To his chicken. There has been, during the consultations when we were developing this project, on the issue of theft, some people who are able even to implement the project are saying that no, if I go for goats, they're going to steal them. If I go for chicken, they will steal them. But we have got solutions to all those problems. For example, if this is your setup, you're staying there in your house, at night, the chicken are in their what? In their pen, and the goats. What you do, you just put a local dog outside in that fenced area, because the entire area is fenced, okay? And when we went costing, the cost of the fence was the highest, because we want to use chain link, and one roll of chain link is between 250 and 350,000, okay, of 18 meters. So when you cost the chain link, it is the only expensive thing you need here, but the returns are enormous. So the goals, the project goals and objectives are very clear. We want to have a climate change community energy resilient. We want to have those people to be energy resilient. We want to enhance their well-being. You have heard, we have been talking a lot of programs to get people out of poverty. This is one of them. Then we want to create awareness on the challenges of climate change, that our people are well prepared and they guard against any eventualities. So in the end, we expect a household which are self-resilient on biomass, household income increased, and also we want to become a champion to campaign against climate change. Now, in the design, in the project design, what we are emphasizing is that we need only serious farmers, okay, not brokers. Serious farmers who are willing to undertake the project himself and next to his homestead. We need land. If we start buying land, the project will not work. We only want to deal with those who can provide land, at least 1 acre piece of land, okay? Then we want access to a tractor to plow. Then we want seedlings, fencing materials, chicken, and the goats. As I've told you, the fencing materials was the most expensive when we came to the costing. In the first year, once we have agreed with the farmer that we are moving forward, we want the area to be plowed. We grow their legumes, can grow their cowpeas or beans, and then now we start dividing and planting our trees and the fruit trees. We also want to emphasize that we want to minimize on the mortality of the birds, because they're dealing with the birds. We're looking at broilers and local chicken. That's the first 3 years. And then in the third year, we want to look at now introduction of the what? Of the goats, okay? After 3 years, we want to bring the goats, because now the trees would have grown about 1.5 to 2 meters high. The ones we planted in the first year, there was only chicken, which was staying in that fenced area. But now, after the third year, we want now to introduce the goats. But now the farmer would have been empowered commercially. He has some money. We want him to contribute to the project. We have tried to analyze the investments and the returns per year. The green, the DP, the green one, that's the model 1, okay? I want us to move together on this. The green one, those are the broilers and the eggs. We found out that out of the investment of about 8.4 million, okay? After the first year, the returns, you get less, you are making a loss after the first year. But after the second year, we make some money, and the third year, we make money. Are we together? Model 2, we're looking at broilers, but we're only looking at selling the chicken. Under model 1, we're looking at selling the eggs and the chicken. We calculated it in such a way that for a broiler, after 4 months, we are able to sell that broiler. And then the farmer is able to start getting some money in the pocket. After 6 months, you'll start laying eggs. The broiler will start laying eggs, then you start also getting what? Returns. But after selling half of the 200, we're looking at 200 birds at the beginning. We sell half to get some money to buy more what? More chicks, so that there is continuity for up to 2 years. But when we went to the local chicken, I've told you model 2 and 3, we're looking at selling the chicken, because poultry is a risky business. We want some money to come back early so that we don't collapse completely. We realized that with the local chicken, the one in dark, we are making money throughout. But for model 2 and 3, we are restocking every month, so there is more investment required. Like for this one, model 1, the initial investment is 1 million. Model 2, the initial investment is 4 million. Model 3, the initial investment was 7 million. Are we together? But the cumulative returns for all of them, not very clear. You can see that for model 1, it's about 70-something million. And then model 2, 80 million, and the other one is it's about 120 million. So we're looking at these scenarios, the 3 scenarios, playing around with the poultry and the goats. This is for the poultry. Then after the third year, now we're introducing the what? The goats to run for the next 5 years. Briefly, this is the 1 acre model. The details I'll provide as need arises. Eyalama Noi.
Yes. Okay. Simple and clear. Conditions are there. The farmer, you must be there. We're not going to rent land. You must have land. You must build it near your home. You must do some work yourself, the farmer. Then the rest will come in. And the result he has calculated, we are basing that 50% failure. Can you believe? If we do very well, 100%, then the rates are also higher. So I think after 1 acre to be getting you 20 million, 30 million in a year, that is an investment that's worth looking at. And actually, on the third year now, you add the value of the trees, the value of the fruit trees. Then we are going to sell the carbon. Because if we are going to get 200 people in a village, that means 2,000, how many acres? 2,000 acres. We qualify to apply for carbon credit. And we shall calculate from the fifth year. We start calculating until the end, and then we get a lot of money. It's a simple thing, but not simple. Because when we are talking to people in government, they say, no, let us try the PDM first. I say PDM, there are LCs, there are councillors, so many people in that PDM. This one is you alone, you and me. So if it's a project for you, if you fail, it is you alone. So it's more attractive. And we have already, yesterday you had the general saying, if you are addressing any security, then you are our partner. So OWC is going to support us to start this on with the clear farmers. We also want to start in those districts that are really far stretched. World Food Program has indicated they would want to start it in Kamoja, where we can get those farmers straight away. And those are the conditions. There are many conditions. If the farmer is a Kampala man like me, and then the farm is in wherever, don't go for it. Own operated, okay? Own operated. That's when you get. Because we say own operated, because you must also work. You, the farmer, you must put your energy into this system. If you don't, and you are going to use hired labor, then the costs go up. Then you say this is not viable, and then that's not required. So this is what we invite you to do, and this is what we are promoting, that after this, we are addressing two issues that we are doing. We are linking climate change to food security. This project is a direct link of climate change to food security. It's the outcome that we go with. And we welcome as many of you to join us and be ready to be partners if we come, if the partners who are ready, because if we have started it ourselves with our own money, okay? By the way, those who have forests, if you have a big forest of 50 acres like Professor Tenyo here, buy the chain link. If you calculate for a forest, then, because we have visited one farmer in Hoima, he even doesn't know how many sheep he has in the farm. The sheep are producing and just so many. So we have done this because we have seen the similar programs in Peru. When we started talking about this, we talked during those climate change negotiations. A lady from Peru asked me, what have you done? I said, I've done nothing in Uganda. Said, you are just talking. In Peru now, they have recorded 20,000 farmers. 20,000 are engaged in this project. And actually, it's a government project now. They have taken over because it's addressing poverty directly to you, the individual, in your home. And for them now, they think this year they might cover up to 60,000 farmers who are who have enrolled. And for them, they have got some big farmers with big land that have adopted the same system. So the silviculture approach here has brought money. The Chinese, when you go there, they can even use an abandoned mines to introduce the same type of program and integrate livestock, integrate that together. So you don't just plant a forest. Finally, when we are searching in Uganda, comparing to other countries, people in Uganda want to plant trees so that they can benefit while they're still alive. They don't want to plant trees which they say, now at my age now, how should I plant trees? My age is about to finish. Why should I plant trees? It's limiting people from planting trees. Because when they were in 20s, like these young people, they never planted trees. Now the idea of planting trees is there, but if I put it in my garden, I might die before I benefit. But here, we are going to benefit while we are still alive. And lastly, the fence around there, in Peru, what they've done, they've actually planted, they've used planted trees around each, about 500 trees around each acre as a natural boundary. And that's also what we're going to encourage here. Trees that can bring in more money around the boundary. And I think that's the way to go. It looks easy, but let's go there. All of us in the Climate Change Action in East Africa, that's our project. Each of us has established using own money, and we are looking forward to it. And I think after next time we shall invite you, come and see the chicken. Come and see the goats, or whatever you introduce there. So that's the message, and that's the message we want to go with after this seminar. We don't want a symposium closing and there is nothing. We're waiting for another symposium. No. Next time we shall be telling like this. Where was there was a guy Ogwal in the morning was assessing the performance of the small-scale irrigation schemes, which have been done in North and Eastern Uganda. We should be assessing what have you done in Eastern, what have you done, how have you performed, how did you minimize costs? I mean, because how did you increase your returns to 60, 70%? Now, because we're assuming 50%, because we talked about theft, because that was a fear, theft one, activity number one. So that is the end of that's what we are getting. Tomorrow we are going to distribute I think maybe today, even during at the next function, we're going to distribute the booklet so that you can read it, take it home. Thank you very much. If there are no questions, we want to close the session and invite you, if you have time, there is a panel discussion starting which is starting just after this, in the main, where we were yesterday, where we opened. They are going to discuss, the panel discussion is on food systems, okay? Food system planning in Uganda. Because we have talked about food security here, there's a new concept to call it food systems, where food is not only, for us now, when you mention food, you quickly go to Ministry of Agriculture. But Ministry of Agriculture is just one part of the food systems, because there is Ministry of Transport, or the transport sector, the private sector, who transports food, those cattle, that motorcade from Barara to the market in Kampala, is part of the food system. The trader, the wholesale buyer who buys, is part of the food system. And then the retailer, part of the food system. So the trade is part of the food systems. It's not only agriculture. Agriculture, of course, must produce the food. Then the other travel system. So today's presentation, I think this morning someone said that you can produce food here, and if the road is blocked and there is no way you can go, you are gone. Food will be on the other side, food will be on this side, there is no way it can go. There is no food system there. The food system talks about all those that are involved in the chain, the food chain, from production to my mouth. That's the food system. Because our colleagues, the people who died in California should have died if we had really had a clear food system of early warning and whatever, and food should have gone there early without any interruption. So that's the panel discussion going to take place there. And Professor Pamela Mbabasi, the chairman of NPA, and her team are the ones going to discuss it. So I invite you there. I also want to thank you for having been a good audience. I want to thank you for having been a good audience. I was trying to answer. Thank you for a good audience. We have listened to very good papers here. We have captured them here. We're going to analyze and then come up with a summary. When we ask you to write a better paper for proceedings, we shall reach you. So that we want to share the outcome of these papers for you to read. But also there are going to be key points that we are going to raise, that we want to refer to government for them to follow up as this was an arrangement by the private sector alone, and we want to share it with the government. Thank you very much. Want to clap for ourselves.
When the world looks at you, they think you're too young, not wise enough, nor strong enough to fathom the complexities the world brings, to break barriers and be the change the world seeks. But when I look at you, I see much, much, much more than that. I see strength and tenacity, boldness in your creativity, beauty in your diversity. Like a phoenix, you rise above every adversity. The world's not ready for what you've got in you.
I see the sun rising upon a new day, shining a light on a new wave of champions, brave enough to find a new way. I see you with a vision of an eagle
And a heart for your people.
I see you become a team that sets out to pursue a dream.
With each and every stride you make, I see your golden heart.
Selflessly giving to each cause you take, I see your hand.
Selflessly reaching out, hoping the world sees the change you make. I see Amukasa from Masaka,
Akorobe from Kotido,
Amukoda from Palisa,
Mutuzo from Kisoro,
Anabimanya from Katereza, fighting against all odds for the rights of his generation, giving young people hope to live another day,
educating young people to make the right choices.
I see a pioneer of a new age, rewriting history on a new page,
birthing a new generation, beaming with ideas, reconstructing the 7 spheres of life.
Oh, I see life like never before. I see you.
Ye nkulaba ndaba omuvubuka envumulo, omuvubuka eyeefubako okulwanyisa empologoma y'obwavu ng'ate naki
Nalo
kulaba
Totude Nkulaba. I see you pushing boundaries with each and every stride you make.
I see you in a farm, a school, a hospital, on stage.
I see you building your nation brick by brick. I see you bring your uniqueness to each and every fabric you weave.
I see you thinking and working your magic, moving the world with
Every click you make, giving only the best you've got, engraving your name on the souls you touch.